Hi, my name's Rain. I'm the owner of Pop Fitness. In today's video, we're going to talk all about muscle soreness. Okay, so chances are if you've ever started working out or if you've ever started amping up the intensity of your workouts, you've experienced muscle soreness. In today's video, I'm going to tell you exactly why it happens and how the mechanics of muscle soreness actually works. So first and foremost, muscle soreness is a very common reaction or symptom that happens during the first stage of general adaptation syndrome. Each and every day, you're constantly placing new stressors on the body, and your body has to adapt to them in order to sustain life. Now, there's 3 stages of general adaptation syndrome. There's the alarm reaction phase, whenever a new stimulus is introduced, the resistance stage, and the exhaustion stage. It's generally recommended that whenever you're exercising, you try to stay within the first 2 stages. So, alarm reaction is whenever a bunch of inflammation happens in the body and the body tries rapidly to repair muscle tissue or to adapt to the new stressors that are placed on it. The resistance stage is when the body is finally able to adapt each and every time to the stressors placed on it, and the exhaustion stage is when your body cannot handle that stressor anymore and starts to have things like injuries and pain, etc. Okay, so you understand general adaptation syndrome. The first stage, the alarm reaction stage, when a new stimulus is introduced to the body, is whenever you experience most of the inflammation and muscle soreness, more specifically, delayed onset muscle soreness. This is when your body is rapidly trying to repair muscle tissue so that you don't injure yourself when the same exercise is performed again. Unlike other muscle soreness, DOMS generally happens between 48 and 72 hours after the initial stimulus is put on the body. So, for example, let's say you did some bicep curls or you did squats that day. It's generally common for you to not feel any pain, and then all of a sudden you wake up one morning 2-3 days later and you're in so much pain that you cannot physically move through the full range of motion. This might make it difficult to extend your arm or to sit down and stand up, and that is totally normal. It can be quite surprising to feel DOMS if you've never exercised before, and you might think that you have hurt yourself or you've had a really bad injury, etc. But in general, this feeling goes away within 3 to 5 days. So let's say that you experienced DOMS. Does that mean that you had a great workout? Unfortunately, no. Muscle soreness is unfortunately not a good indicator on whether or not you've had a great workout. I know it seems to not make sense, and you might feel that you're doing really good by being sore, but that is not necessarily the case. Some exercises in particular might trigger DOMS or muscle soreness more than others. For example, exercises that focus on the eccentric phase of a lift, for example, lowering your arm in the bicep curl or like taking it really slow on the descent of the squat. These will produce more micro tears in the muscle and subsequently more muscle soreness. So while DOMS is correlated with hypertrophy or building muscle, it is not the same thing. And as you get more efficient at working out in the future, you might experience muscle soreness rarely to never. That doesn't mean you're not getting a great workout, and it's not something that you have to worry about. So, whenever you're exercising, it's a good idea to stay within the first 2 stages of the general adaptation syndrome so that you're constantly adapting and you can continue to make these adaptations without any problems. So, how does one do that? Well, in general, you want to make sure that your program is, first of all, periodized, meaning it lasts about 6 to 8 weeks before you do a deload or you change the volume and intensity of your exercise program. 2, you want to make sure that your program is progressive, meaning that you're consistently adding more weight or additional stimulus over time. You don't ever want to be in a situation where you're going to the gym and performing the exact same workout that you've already adapted to, because that's whenever you can start to experience the negative problems associated with the exhaustion phase. More specifically, You might have problems like overuse injuries, tennis elbow, tendonitis, impingement, etc. So to conclude, muscle soreness is something that is very common and happens between 48 72 hours after the initial workout. This is especially common if you're just starting an exercise or if you up the intensity of your current exercise plan. Don't worry, my very next video is going to be all about DOMS and how to actually alleviate the symptoms of it. If you have any questions or concerns, please put them in the comment box below. Otherwise, thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next time.